I was just sitting here, right, pulling up into the crib, and I was like, you know what, that's something, right? I was just saying, like, how I tried, where I'm at is I manipulate the spiritual, and it takes precedence in the physical. And I said, if I'm manipulating the physical, the spiritual, which controls the physical, then I'm manipulating both, as above, so below. And then, I was just referencing to, me being indoctrinated into Christianity. And, there's a passage that says, on earth as it is in heaven, the Lord's Prayer. Give us this day our daily bread, right? And it says, on earth as it is in heaven, as above, so below. Right? So it's depicting clearly, it's telling, there's no dispute. Christians cannot dispute the occultist undertones behind their ritualistic tendencies. But I really want to say, what's the word I really want to use? Starts with their traditions, right? Because that's really what it is. It's a tradition. They can't lie about it. They can't lie about the Caesar Borgias, the Roman Pope, the whitewashing, whatever you want to say, right? Because one thing I never understood, right? We have Black History Month, but you serve a white deity. Never understood that. You were conscious enough to know that so-called blacks were prominent in past times, and their previous inventions affect modern day technologies and industrial and agricultural, whatever, right? But you weren't wise enough to then apply that to your God. So you worship Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Madam C.J. Walker, the stereotypes, Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass. You worship them because, let's be real, we got a whole month of idolatry. Who you idolating? You're idolizing who? MLK, Malcolm X, the niggas, all of them, Then you have your Marcus Garvey, depending on who you know, and then you have your some people, they put the Du Bois in there. He was a traitor, but it depends on, like I said, goes on. What I'm saying is, right? They were conscious enough, still today, right? They're still today conscious enough to put black people on a pedestal. They create new history, new aspects behind the history of these so-called black people. But if you go on Church Fan, you go to a funeral home, you look in the chapel, that's that white motherfucker looking at you right. And he's looking at you with that motherfucker, you fucked up. Niggas looking at you too. Niggas like you know what my man's on? You fucked up. He's looking at you like, you fucked up, didn't you? Like my man's on, what's that? That meme and shit, my man's, famous that nigga. And then Jesus looking at you like, you fucked up, nigga. You fucked up. You got a lot of offering to put in that motherfucking plate. $5 ain't gonna do anything. $5? You tipped the bartender $5 last night, and Norma Jeans $5. These niggas be tipping the bartender the money we put in the church, and that's when I understood there was some shady shit going on. And so, like I said, man, as above, so below. It lets you know that this occultic is worship, sun worship, Saturn worship. I keep telling you guys that the cross unfolded makes the Saturn cube. It's the same thing that they worship in the Mecca of Islam. It's the same thing they worship, and that's why Malcolm X, they had that debacle with him when he went over there and understood that there were all types of people in Muslim faith, right? You understand that the certain time and the availability, right? The people back then were able to control the narrative because the narrative could not be explored, experienced as frivolous as it is today. You can literally get on your phone today and based on your influence, in quotations, dictate a narrative. Kanye West does it all the time. Kanye West can get on the fucking internet right now and create any narrative about alleged situations relative to what he's known to be involved in right now, and people will take him seriously, or at least listen to him. He's going to get an influence, right? The influencer. So for me, going back to my original thesis, right, premise behind my concern on the current state of America, so-called black people, is how they're able to identify their own leaders in their culture, but not leaders in spirituality. There seemed to be some disconnect where these niggas are fine worshiping so-called black people when it comes to business, banking, education, but spirituality, That's enough. That's enough niggas for it. No, we gonna get all our spirituality from the so-called white deity that is then expressed around other people, right, to be false, you know, be or just a mere man. You understand? So for me, I'm perplexed. You know, I said I'm always perplexed by what they don't do. I learn more by what they don't do, by what they do, because they don't do much of shit but sit in the fucking house and try to get on my fucking nerves. So there ain't much shit for me to learn from that. Damn sure didn't learn shit from these niggas sitting in the house and standing outside looking googly-eyed with canes and shit. Wouldn't learn a motherfucking thing. But I damn sure learned from some shit watching these niggas ride up and down the street playing with blinkers, and then going to look at someone in Canada and looking at the same thing in Canada and Australia and Detroit and Pennsylvania and say, they do the same thing they do around my house. They do in Canada, Australia, Pennsylvania, New York City, right? Ohio. The list goes on. I did learn something. I learned that I was not crazy. This was a phenomenon, and they were being controlled and operated throughout the country. It was not just a Maryland thing. It's not just a Baltimore thing. It's not just a DMV thing. It's not just the East Coast thing. It's not just a United States thing. It's global. And that takes off the pressure of your mind, right? Because no matter, you can sit here and ponder, but at least you know one thing, right? You're not crazy. If you knew nothing else, you would know you were not crazy.